I'm delighted to welcome rising star SJ Talbot, who's just released her second single, and it's a real summer dance anthem called Easy for Me. SJ, welcome to my show.
Hello, Claire. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Now, I love this track. I love music. I'm all about music that makes you feel good. And Easy for Me has got a really catchy hook. It's a beat. You've got a great vocal. And I love the electronic dance pop production on it too. And you wrote this song at the end of last year, didn't you?
Yeah. I actually just wrote it kind of on piano initially, and then I just took it to my producer, and then it just went up from there.
Yeah. So how did it start? Did the melody come first? What worked?
Yeah, I think it was actually the melody that came first. It was like the chorus melody I had in mind. I was messing around with the chords on the piano, and it started out. I think it's the thing with writing songs initially, like on keys, like you can make it sound so sad, like so quickly. And it was kind of going in that direction of like a ballad, like a breakup ballad. And I was like, I don't feel like I wasn't being very realistic with myself because I wasn't in like that kind of place in my life at that time. I was like, you know what, let's write something a little bit more fun. And I just messed around with like the ideas and stuff. So it started as being a kind of like a breakup song and being kind of bitter over a relationship. I'm like, I've done that before. So I decided to write it about like a relationship that's kind of juvenile. It's not really going anywhere, but neither person is like mature enough to just cut off all ties and like, you know, face the kind of closure. And I was like, that's very relatable, but we can also have a bit of fun with it. And then decided to turn it into a dance track, which is like kind of not usual.
Yeah, and that's much more fun, isn't it? So then you got together with Jeff OConnor to produce your track. And so this was a bit of a lockdown situation then, wasn't it, to get these ideas together?
Yeah, so me and Jeff, like even still, like the lockdown's eased in Ireland now, but we still haven't met up yet. We're still like once a week we're still doing our Zoom calls, and we're yet to actually meet in person, but it's great because we just clicked. You know, it was a recommendation I got from another musician, and yeah, I just basically sent him the demo. I would have like very like basic production skills at the moment, but I can do enough with a song to show to a producer and give them an idea of like where like the direction I'm going in. So I had the kind of upbeat feel, and I just messaged him and said, look, I'm sending you this, like let me know what you think. If you don't like it, that's fine. But he was like, no, like this is great, you know, this is really, really fun. The foundation is there. And then from there on, I think we worked on it together, like very slowly but surely worked on it for like 3 or 4 months back and forth on Zoom, and it was great. We've also started writing songs together, so it was a really cool discovery, Jeff.
Yeah. Fantastic. And then the video is real fun too, isn't it? So this is when you got together then with a couple of directors. Is it Fionnuala Madden?
Yeah, Fionnuala
and Robert Montgomery. Yeah. And what was it that kind of gave you that vision? Did that come about as you were penning that song and when you were talking to Jeff, or was that something sort of that came as it went along? How did it work?
I don't know. See, I think I'm really into like 80s like production, and I know like this song is very like kind of modern electronic dance, but it has some sort of like 80s inspired like beats and stuff like that, and the bass and certain like electronic instruments we put in there. So I think when I was like producing it with Jeff and we started like working on different sounds, I was like, we made this sort of like retro inspired like sort of 80s throwback, but not like on the nose 80s throwback, like just have like subtle like influences in there. And I just, every time I listen to the song, all these like visuals start coming in my head, and I was like, you know what, it's a fun song, like I want that to translate in the video. So I got in touch with the guys they're in a company called Picture Mode in Dublin, and it's just the two of them that work together, but they're brilliant. And the same thing, because it was during the lockdown, it was actually during winter, I was like, I want it to be like really warm and really summer. It was very difficult because we were like in January in Dublin in like lockdown, and it was just like it wasn't the most upbeat of times, you know. So it was difficult to like get
and
excited.
There's you in your aerobics kit and your leg warmers and your roller boots.
Yeah, I know. But it was a great project to work on because it kept everyone, I don't know, it kept me going, you know. It was like something to just throw myself into during such like a mad time. And then I worked with a stylist as well, helped like with the outfits and everything. And we just tried to tick every box, and like we added like bits of humor in there as well. Like I gave the first initial idea of like the roller skating and the sort of retro kind of like, you know, I'm exercising. The whole story behind the video is that like I'm trying to like distract myself from like my boyfriend or the relationship that's not working out, and then but at the same time he keeps like turning up like in my head, like it's like I'm like delusional. I keep thinking I see him everywhere, and at the end I'm like kind of dumping him off on the cliff. Like it's kind of meant to be like kind of tongue in cheek, you know.
Yeah, it is fun.
Yeah, we built all those like ideas in like gradually. But yeah, it was fantastic. Like, oh, I wish I could do it all over again because it was just so funny.
Well, it'll be the next one that you do. You have to come up with these great ideas. I'm sure you've got plenty of them as well. So let's talk a bit more about the meaning behind the song then. So you said it's about this relationship. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah. So yeah, it's pretty much inspired by like kind of, I don't know, like teenage kind of relationships that I was in. And even like when I was like in my early 20s and like, you know, I'd be seeing somebody and like it wouldn't be that serious, but like we're just sticking with each other just for the sake of like it's familiar, there's history, we might know each other before it become intimate. And it's not even just about me, like my friends have been in that situation, and I think that a lot of people can feel like that, like they're just somebody is their comfort zone, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's healthy and that like, you know, there's room to grow in that relationship. It's really just the familiarity. It's like being stuck in like a job that you don't necessarily want to be in, but you know, it pays the bills, you know, you're comfortable. It's easy for you to just stay.
Yeah. So it's relatable to lots of people then, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. And that's where I went with the song. Because I didn't want to just write a song that wasn't really true to me and like my life experiences. Like, because I've written so many songs just for the sake of writing, and with this one I was like, no, like it's fun, it's a dance track, but also like has that soulful like deeper meaning. It's not just about let's all go to the club and like drink. Like I love songs like that too, don't get me wrong, but it's like I wanted to have like an upbeat dance song that you can listen to in a club but also can kind of relate to and be like, oh, like there's actually a deeper kind of substance to it.
Yeah, definitely. And I love the way that everything ties in as well, because you've got this great cover art too, haven't you? It's got this sort of bubblegum type sort of digital pop art look about it. So tell me about that. Yeah,
so that the cover art was actually made by a girl I used to go to school with, Emily Peach. She's like an art school graduate in Dublin, and I just love her. She does like loads of like digital kind of art and really colorful stuff, kind of abstract, and she's an illustrator as well. And I just said, you know, initially I wanted it to be like a photo of me like blowing the bubblegum and having like a collage around me. I was like, I just wanted it to be kind of like almost look like a magazine scrap book kind of thing. And then we just messed around with loads of different ideas. I took the photos that I did like a lockdown style photo shoot of me like blowing bubblegum. I had like a million failed photos of like bubblegum all over my face, and finally got one that was like okay, and then sent that to her, and she like kind of, you know, traced it whatever way she did it. And yeah, she created this really cool illustration. She's like, what about this, what about that? Like she had loads of different ideas, and I was like, no, let's just like make it really busy and colorful, just to like reflect the song. And like the video, like everything's very bright and colorful. It's bright, it's so eye-catching and lively and upbeat. Yeah, it's fantastic. And you've done loads already, haven't you? You're still really young, yet you've had quite an interesting career so far. Yeah, I never really thought about it as interesting. I suppose I kind of have. Well, I went to BIM Dublin. I went there. I graduated in 2020, but I went for 4 years. And people who don't know what that is, that's the British and Irish Modern Music Institute, isn't it? Yeah. That's it. Yeah. And I studied there for 4 years. I auditioned to study vocals, so that was like my main kind of stream that I was working on. And then throughout the years, like I kind of built on my songwriting, and I started working as like a session singer, backing vocalist, and like songwriter, keyboardist for like different artists and bands throughout those years. So it was a great confidence builder. and it really opened me up to just study and to learn different styles and work on different styles. And before that, I was like, I sang in choirs and stuff, and I played piano and guitar and violin from like a young age for about 4 or 5 years. So I've always I've always been musical. I've always loved singing. And I absolutely love it. Yeah.
Well, you're really good at it. You're very, very talented, very talented. You sort of put me in the mind a bit. Vocally, I can hear elements of Dido at times, Dua Lipa, Adele with the ballads, certainly, and a little bit, this might be to do with the production side of things, but a little bit of that Billie Eilish as well, with that kind of attacking. So, all kinds of everything, really.
Yeah, like my main two genres, I suppose, that I'm working on at the moment is kind of like soul music. So I still listen to like Adele, Nina Simone, Duffy, Amy Winehouse, like since I was like a teenager. I think that's like where my voice kind of came from and like kind of evolved, was just like listening to those, like their CDs like on repeat. And I still do, like, because I used to try and like mimic all their tones, and like, I was just always so amazed by like female vocals that could, from the second you hear a song, like, oh, that's Duffy or that's Amy Winehouse, without having to go, who's that? You just know straight away, like they're just iconic.
Yeah.
And then I was always really into pop music. Like I was just like Katy Perry, Sia, really into like Emily Sandé. The list goes on. I love Dua Lipa anyway. Like I'm very much like into contemporary pop as well.
It's kind of got that vibe easy for me. It's that kind of thing. I can sort of see it. Well, I reckon it's a hit record. I really do. It's really got that magic about it. But I could see it opening the Brit Award, or you winning a Brit Award in the future. It's got that kind of vibe, hasn't it?
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Wow, yeah. And what is it looking like for the future? Are there any gigs on the horizon for you?
At the moment, it's kind of slow building, here in Ireland, with live music. I'd absolutely love to do like a headline gig, maybe by like winter 2021. And in the meantime, I'll just kind of I'm still writing stuff with Jeff, and trying to get like a band behind me now, a couple of musicians that I'm working with remotely.
Ooh, exciting, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. So I'm really looking forward to getting back out and doing a gig, or even to get a support slot or something like that. But yeah,
I'm sure that will happen before very long. And where do you see your future? What does the future behold for SJ Talbot?
Well, I'd like to see myself doing more songwriting, of course, like more self-releases, and just evolve my solo artist project, just like learn about more styles. Like I feel like no matter what, like you just never stop learning. Like even you could be a pro at like songwriting, singing, but you'll never stop learning. Every day is a school day, So I really want to make writing and being an artist like my full-time job, and work more with like different producers on production, and just making music my full-time thing, because it means a lot to me to be a songwriter and to just be a creative person. I want to keep working on the music now full-time. And
well, you've certainly got the talent. You really have. You're an excellent songwriter, an excellent singer. You've got a fantastic image. You really look the part. You perform well in your videos. So I can see a very bright future for you, SJ Talbot. I really do. And thanks so much for joining me today. And I really wish you all the very best with the music. I really think you've got a very successful career ahead of you.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate that.